Assalamu alaikum, my little creatives, and welcome to our art adventure. Today we're going to be making some Ramadan decor. And as we craft, we're going to be learning about the holy month of Ramadan. Are you excited? You're going to need glue and scissors, colours, cardboard and paper, and some string. And don't forget a pencil. Your feedback is so important to improving our channel. So please write me a comment. The link is in the description below. Shall we get started?
Before we start any task, we begin by saying Bismillah. Can you say it with me? Bismillah. Great job! I'm starting off by drawing a crescent moon on a piece of paper. Then I'm going to cut it out. Today we're going to be learning more about this holy month called Ramadan. Have you heard of Ramadan? Ramadan is a time when millions of people all around the world do something really special. They fast. They pray, and they give lots of love and kindness. It's not just about food and water. It's also about being a better Muslim and showing kindness to everyone. Now, I bet you're wondering, what does all of this mean? What does Ramadan really mean? Well, let's find out together. So are you ready to learn? Let's start by answering the big question. What exactly is Ramadan? Well, Ramadan is a very special month for Muslims. And one of the most important things about Ramadan is fasting. But what is fasting? Do you know? Well, fasting means not eating or drinking anything from sunrise to sunset. Now that I've cut out my crescent moon, I'm going to stick it down on the cardboard and cut it out. And that's right. No food, no drinks. Just like a little challenge to see if you can be patient and strong. But don't worry, we don't do this just to feel hungry. We do it to learn patience, gratitude, and to be closer to Allah. Now, I know you might be thinking, no snacks, no juice. How do we do it? Well, here's the trick. We wake up really early in the morning, just before the sun rises, to eat a meal called suhoor. Suhoor gives us enough energy to start our fast and help us feel strong all day. And guess what? When the sun goes down, it's time to eat again. And this meal is called iftar. And it's a special moment for families to gather and enjoy a delicious meal together. So we said Ramadan is not just about fasting, it's also about helping others. And during Ramadan, we try to be extra kind and do lots of good deeds. We donate food and money to people who don't have enough. We visit sick friends and neighbours and try to make the world a better place. Saum, which means fasting, is one of the 5 pillars of Islam. The most important rules that every Muslim follows to practice their faith. These 5 pillars are like the foundation of our belief, and fasting is the 4th pillar of Islam, or Saum. Fasting during the month of Ramadan helps us become closer to Allah and teaches us important lessons Just like we pray 5 times a day, give to charity, and believe in the oneness of Allah, fasting is a way to show Allah that we love Him and want to follow His guidance. By observing Sawm, we grow stronger in our faith. Now that we've cut out our moon, we're going to cut out some fun stars or lanterns to hang below it. So I'm going to fold my piece of paper in half and in half again. And then I'm going to draw half a lantern and cut it out. So then when I open it up, I have 2 lanterns. If this is too tricky, you can just draw a lantern and cut it out. Draw as many bits as you'd like. Would you like to hear a story? Okay. Omar was 6 years old, and it was his first time experiencing Ramadan. He had always watched his older sister, Amina, fast, but this year was different. He was finally old enough to understand what it was all about. One morning, Omar woke up early and ran to the kitchen, eager for his favourite breakfast. As he entered the kitchen, he saw Amina sitting at the table, already finishing her meal. Omar, don't you want to eat your suhoor before the sun comes up? Amina asked, smiling at him. What's suhoor? Omar asked, his eyes wide. Well, Amina said, suhoor is the meal we eat early in the morning before the sun rises. It gives us the energy we need for the whole day of fasting. But why do we fast? Omar asked. Amina thought for a moment. Fasting is one of our 5 pillars in Islam. Fasting helps us become better Muslims by learning lessons like patience, gratitude, and discipline. Omar's eyes filled with curiosity. I want to try fasting. Amina smiled and said, You're still too young to fast the whole day. But maybe you can try fasting for a few hours and see how it feels. Later that day, after suhoor, Omar felt excited but nervous. He had never gone without food for a long time. He tried to keep busy by playing, but by lunchtime, his tummy began to rumble. He was hungry. He couldn't wait for iftar. As the sun set, it was finally time for iftar. Omar joined his family at the dinner table, and together they broke their fast with dates, water, and then a big meal with soup, rice, and fruit. After the meal, Omar smiled. Amina, fasting isn't so bad. I feel strong now, and I understand why we do it. Amina nodded. It's not about just being hungry. It's about being patient and feeling grateful. And when we share with others, it makes us even happier. And Allah rewards us. Great job listening. Can you see that I'm drawing stars and cutting them out? I might draw a few circles or maybe a moon. You can choose the shape and cut it out. Let's think about Omar again. One day, after a long day of fasting, he sat with his family at the dinner table, thinking about how lucky he was to have food to eat. I feel thankful for all the food we have, he said. His father smiled and said, "Yes, Omar, fasting helps us remember to appreciate what we have and to help others who are in need. That's why fasting is so powerful. It teaches us to care for others and to never take what we have for granted." Before Ramadan starts, we get ready in many exciting ways. It's like preparing for a big adventure. Some people even put up little paper stars and moons, and they decorate their homes with beautiful lights and lanterns. That's exactly what we're doing now. We're creating a fun craft to get into the spirit of Ramadan. We also can prepare by planning special meals for suhoor and iftar. Some people even cook delicious dishes that they only make during Ramadan, like sweet dates, soup and crunchy samosas. Now that we've cut out all our little bits, I'm going to start colouring them in. What have you cut out? Did you do a heart, a star, or a moon? Now that we know a little bit about what Ramadan is and why it's so important, let's take a closer look at what a day in Ramadan looks like. The day starts early, before the sun rises. Omar wakes up his family for suhoor, the early morning meal. It's still dark outside, and everything is calm and quiet. Omar's mum has prepared some yummy foods, like bread, cheese, and fruit for them to eat together. Omar said, "I'm so tired, but I'm excited for suhoor." His mum smiles. Eating this meal will help you feel strong and ready for the day ahead. Just remember, after this, no more food or drink until the sun sets. Omar's sister Amina is already awake and eating her meal. "I'm having lots of fruit," she says. "It'll help me stay full during the day." Omar eats quickly but carefully, making sure to enjoy every bite. He knows that suhoor is his chance to fill up before the fast begins, and he doesn't want to miss it. Once the sun starts to rise, Omar and his family clean up and get ready for the day. Omar's dad gets ready to pray. Muslims pray 5 times a day, and during Ramadan, the prayers are even more important. And after the morning prayer, Omar gets dressed for the day. He knows that even though he can't eat or drink, he can still do many good things, like being kind to others and helping out at home. Throughout the day, Omar stays busy. He plays with his toys, reads books, and helps his mum with small chores. But as the day goes on, he starts to feel a little hungry and thirsty. It's tough, but he remembers what Emina said about being patient, and he knows that he's learning to be strong. In the afternoon, Omar's family sits down for the afternoon prayer, and everyone takes a break. During this time, they talk about all the good things they can do during Ramadan. Omar is so proud of how he's being patient. He's learning a lot about self-control and kindness. As the sun starts to set, Omar's excitement grows. He can already smell the delicious food that his mum is preparing for iftar. I can't wait for iftar, Omar says, rubbing his tummy. His sister Emina laughs. I know. I'm so ready for that big bowl of soup. Finally, the moment arrives. The adhan for Maghrib rings, and it's time to break the fast. Amina gives Omar a date and says, did you know that if you give a fasting person a date, you'll get the same reward as if you fasted too? Omar jumped with excitement and ran to give his mum a date. His mum smiled and said, Omar, do you know why we start by breaking our fast with a date? He said, no. His mum smiled and said, we do it just like the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to do, by breaking our fast with some dates and water. After the dates, they pray Maghrib and then enjoy the delicious meal. There's soup, rice, salads, and even dessert. As Omar eats, he feels so happy and grateful for the food. He's proud of himself for making it through the day. Ramadan is not just about fasting, it's also about helping others. In fact, one of the most important parts of Ramadan is giving to people in need. That's why Muslims give charity during this time, or sadaqah. This charity is called zakat, and it's a way to help others who may not have enough food or money. Now, let's see what Omar and his family do to help others. Omar's family likes to invite friends and neighbors over for iftar. It's a time to share food and be together. It's so much fun to eat with friends and family, and everyone feels grateful and happy. Sometimes they give food to neighbors who can't come to the mosque or who may be sick. And at the end of each week during Ramadan, Omar and his family look for ways to be extra kind. They might visit an elderly neighbor or donate clothes to those in need. And the best part is Omar gets to be part of it all. In Ramadan, kindness isn't just something nice to do. It's something that makes you feel connected to others and closer to Allah. Every time you share, give charity, or help in your community, you're making the world a better place and earning Allah's rewards. Now let's talk about prayer. One of the most important parts of Ramadan is praying. We pray 5 times a day, but during Ramadan, prayers are extra special. The most important prayer during Ramadan is the special Taraweeh prayer after Isha. Omar loves going to the mosque with his family for Taraweeh. It's a long prayer, but it makes him feel so calm and peaceful. Omar says excited, "I love going to the mosque, Mum. The prayer makes me feel so close to Allah." His mum smiles. Yes, Omar, Ramadan is the best time to be close to Allah through prayer. At the mosque, Omar and his family bow down and stand together in prayer. Omar is learning the words and movements. He knows that prayer is not just about saying words, it's about feeling connected to Allah and asking for help and His blessings. After Taraweeh, Omar feels peaceful and proud. "I'm learning to pray better, Mum," he says with a big smile. Sometimes, even when they're not at the mosque, Omar and his family pray together at home. They pray for peace, for good health, and for well-being of everyone around them. So remember, my little creatives, prayer is a way to talk to Allah, ask for help, and show gratitude for all the blessings we have in life. It's a very special time during Ramadan to connect even deeper with Allah. You're doing such a great job coloring. Now I'm writing Ramadan Kareem in big letters on my crescent moon. Let's go back to Omar's story. One day, as Omar was fasting, he started to feel really hungry and thirsty. He was playing with his friends and feeling the struggle of not being able to eat or drink. But then something happened. One of his friends accidentally bumped into him, and Omar felt a little upset. Without thinking, he almost said something unkind. But he remembered something very important. Omar, stopping himself, "Wait, I'm fasting. I can't say that. Fasting isn't just about food and water. It's also about controlling my feelings and words." Omar's mum had taught him that fasting isn't only about staying away from food and drink. It's about staying away from anything that could make Allah unhappy. That means we try not to do bad things like swearing, lying, or being rude to others. Omar knew that if he said something mean, it wouldn't just break his fast, but it would also hurt his spirit and his connection with Allah. So instead of getting upset, Omar took a deep breath and smiled and said something nice to his friend. "It's okay. I know it was an accident." His friend smiled back, and Omar felt so proud. Even though fasting was hard, he realized that patience and kindness were also part of the fast. By controlling his temper and not saying anything bad, he was making his fast even more special and pleasing to Allah. "Now I understand, Mum. Fasting helps us become better people, not just by not eating, but by being good in everything we do. Our words, our actions, and our thoughts." And that's exactly it. Fasting is a time to purify our hearts and minds, not just our bodies. By avoiding things like anger, swearing, and arguing, we're showing Allah that we're really trying to be the best we can be. We fast to make ourselves better people, to grow in patience, self-control, and kindness, and to become closer to Allah in everything we do. So now I'm grabbing my scissors and poking a little hole. I'm going to get some string and thread it through the hole, tying a big knot at the end to make sure the string doesn't fall out. Once I've done that, I'm going to glue on all my beautiful symbols, my stars and lanterns, onto the string. Let's recap everything we've learnt today. What is Ramadan? Can you tell me? That's right! Ramadan is a very special month for Muslims. It's a time where we fast, pray, and try to become better Muslims. Fasting means we don't eat or drink from dawn, when the sun rises, until sunset. But Ramadan is not just about eating, it's about learning to be kind, patient, and thankful. We fast during Ramadan because it's one of the important rules in Islam. It's also one of the 5 pillars of Islam called Sawm, which are like the main rules that all Muslims follow. By fasting, we remember how lucky we are and learn to be more thankful. We also feel closer to Allah and try to be the best we can be. Fasting isn't just about staying away from food or drink. It's also about trying to be good in everything we do. We try to avoid bad things like arguing, being rude, or lying while fasting. We want to make our hearts clean and our minds clean. So can you tell me, what is suhoor? Before the sun rises, we have a meal called suhoor. Good job! It's a healthy breakfast to help us stay strong during the day of our fast. We eat it very early in the morning before Fajr prayer. Now, can you tell me what iftar means? Perfect! When the sun sets, we break our fast with a meal called iftar. We start with dates and water, just like the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam did. It's a happy time because it's the moment we can finally eat and drink after a long day of fasting. Now, on to Taraweeh prayers. After dinner, we pray Taraweeh at night. These prayers help us to read and listen to the Quran and reflect on its teachings and get closer to Allah. Ramadan is also about helping people who need it. We're encouraged to give charity during Ramadan, and this charity is called zakah. Zakah helps poor people get the things they need, like food, clothes, and shelter. The last 10 days of Ramadan are extra special. We believe that during these days there is a night called Laylatul Qadr, which is the night of power. On this night, Allah's blessings are very strong, and we pray extra hard for forgiveness and ask for good things to happen in our lives. When Ramadan ends, we celebrate Eid. This Eid is called Eid al-Fitr, which is a big party. Eid is a time for family and friends to come together and eat great food and enjoy each other's company. You're doing such a great job crafting. Here are some of the most important lessons that Ramadan teaches us. The first is patience. Fasting helps us learn patience. It teaches us to wait for things and control our feelings instead of acting out when we're upset or hungry. The next is gratitude. Fasting makes us realize how lucky we are to have food and water. It teaches us to be thankful for everything we have, like family, friends, and health. The next is kindness. During Ramadan, we try to be kind to everyone. We help people who don't have enough food or money. This is a time to show love and care to others. The next is self-improvement. Ramadan helps us become better Muslims. We try to be more patient, forgiving, and loving during this month. And lastly, our connection to Allah. Ramadan is a time for us to pray more and get closer to Him. By fasting and doing good deeds, we show Allah that we love Him and want to follow His guidance. Now, as you can see, I've also poked 2 holes at the top of the moon so we can thread the string through and have a little hanger so we can hang it up anywhere we like. Through Ramadan, we learn that the most important things in life are not food and drinks, but the love for Allah, the kindness to others, and the effort to become better Muslims every day.
Wow, look at your beautiful Ramadan decor. I'm so proud of the amazing work you did today. Look, now we can hang it up and feel the excitement of Ramadan. Let's end with a short dua. Raise your hands and repeat after me. Oh Allah, allow me to do more good this Ramadan and accept my efforts. Ameen. And don't forget to leave a comment in the feedback form below so I can improve my channel for you. And I will see you guys in the next video. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.